Because French cooking is so well established, I think it's easy to think that that's all that gets eaten in France, but it's not true. There's so many influences from outside that come in when there's immigration, and it makes the cooking so much more exciting because there are new flavors arriving all the time. From the Antilles, I'm making acra de morue, or salt cod beignets, deep fried and crisp, a little bit salty with hot pepper. For first course, I'm making achar de légumes, which is Mauritian. It's a marinated vegetable salad. Then from Morocco, tagine with Minty Couscous. And for dessert, a North African cake, an almond cake with orange that's soaked in an orange syrup. I've got 2 friends coming over for dinner. They love everything African. They can only love this. I'll get on to dessert first. I always like to do that. It makes sense with a menu. This is an orange almond cake that gets soaked in syrup and topped with candied orange at the end. It is a beautiful cake. I make it all the time. It's very festive. It can also be simple if you want it to be, but I like it for celebrations. So you need eggs, and lots of eggs. I'm separating 6 of them. It's another of those cakes that's leavened with egg white and not baking powder. So I'm going to beat the sugar together with the yolks. 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 6 yolks. You just beat it until it turns pale and ribbony. See how nice and ribbony that is? It gets so thick and very pale. I need 1.5 cups of these ground almonds, but you really need them ground to powder because the almonds replace flour in the end. There are a lot of cakes that use nuts in place of flour, actually. Certainly in the French repertoire you see hazelnut cakes and walnut cakes and almond cakes. You can use pistachios. So I need zest from 3 oranges. Should be very orangey, and the zest always has the most flavor, more than juice. And that's it for flavoring. There's no vanilla or anything else. It's just the purity of the almonds and the orange zest together that make this cake. Now this is a very thick mixture at this point, pretty heavy. But I'm going to look after that. Put a little bit in to the cake mixture and stir it through. You loosen up the heavy mixture, and that way the rest fold in easily and keep as much volume as possible. I'm using a springform pan lined with paper because it's a delicate cake, and just butter it once you've lined it too so that it peels off easily. There we go, and that needs about 45 minutes in the oven. It will puff up a little bit and then it will sink away when it comes out from the pan just a little bit, and it will be all nice and golden. Most cakes get cooked at 350. Now that's not it for the cake, because there's another part. There's a syrup that gets spooned on top, and that cake, which is such a sponge, just soaks it all up and becomes very moist and exotic. So juice the oranges right into a saucepan. add a little sugar, and then just boil it for 5 minutes to dissolve the sugar. We'll just make a very, very light syrup. You don't think it can drink up all this liquid, because look how much there is. Practically a cup, but it does. Now, the pièce de résistance. I have some leftover orange zest and syrup from a dessert I made the other day, which is just oranges tossed in a thicker syrup and thin julienne zest that you candy in it. And that's it. One of my top 5 cakes. But now I have to get on to my tagine and my hachard de légumes. How are you?
Hello, can I help you with anything?
Yes. I'm making all African food. And I'm making a tagine.
Okay.
I know there's turmeric.
Do you want us to give it a smell?
Sure. It smells like a cellar.
It's a very earthy spice.
I love it. It reminds me of Morocco. Sorry. I'm making a whole menu that shows off the African influences that you find in France. And I'm making right now a tagine from Morocco and a salad of vegetables from Mauritius. This is a tagine that a friend of mine gave me. It's not a true tagine because it's made of stainless steel, obviously, but it's still fun because it has this dome on top. The real tagines are made of terracotta, and they're soaked and they're treated so that they can go on really high heat right on a burner. You can't use the decorative ones like that, or you'll end up bursting them right on your stove. Now, the nice thing about this tagine recipe is from my friend's mom, right from Morocco. It's a way of having instant exotic food. Exotic to me, anyway. I'm making chicken tagine because it's the quickest. And I like to use just legs because they're longer cooking. They hold up to a stewing process. Just because I like to serve them this way, I'm going to split the legs between thigh and drumstick. So everything goes right in the pot, no browning beforehand. You season now, you can see how much you're adding. I like lots of pepper. The only thing I'm careful about with tagine is salt. I add way less than I would normally use because there are these lemons going in eventually. And these are preserved lemons in brine, and they get very salty and you use the skins. So that has salt. And the other thing that has salt is olives, which go on at the end. So only add a little bit of salt up front. And then add a sliced onion. So then the onions just go right on top, or mix through, it doesn't matter. Add a little garlic. So that's 3 cloves of garlic. Now spices. A pinch of turmeric. Turmeric gives color. It's almost a bit sourish, but in a good way. A pinch of saffron. A teaspoon of ginger. Cumin, 2 teaspoons of that. Coriander, ground coriander I'm using. And the last thing that goes in before cooking are these little tiny preserved lemons that I bought in a jar. And they're such cute little lemons, I couldn't resist them. But what you don't eat is the flesh, just the skin part, and you just dice it. I just want water and a little drizzle of olive oil, just a couple of spoonfuls, for flavor really. I'll just start this on medium heat, and once it gets cooking you can turn it down. I'm going to switch African influences and switch countries and make my hachard de légumes. This recipe is all vegetables and it's a marinated salad. It's from my friend Dominique, and he's from the Île Maurice, or Mauritius, and he lives in Paris. and has brought to me and all my friends his Mauritian recipes. This is called hachard de légumes, and hacher in French means to chop, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing that that's why it's called this, because everything gets chopped up. I've got shallots and green beans, cabbage, which I'm going to shred, cauliflower and carrots. Same amounts, roughly the same size, and I'm going to toss them together in a bowl. So then you have all kinds of different colors and textures to mix together. It's going to be very beautiful. Now the spices in this, these are all things that you find in French cuisine. These are brown mustard seeds, 3 tablespoons. And then lots and lots of garlic. And then ginger, tablespoon of chopped fresh ginger this time. This salad finishes on the stove top. I'm putting half a cup of grapeseed oil in the pan to get hot. This is going to be the marinade, the dressing. So in here I've got my mustard seed, garlic and ginger, and I'm going to add it at the same time with the shallots. So just when the shallots have softened, then the other vegetables just get quickly tossed into the mixture. And the last thing, 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. So don't cook the vegetables, just toss them all together and then take it off the heat. Now this tagine, bubbling like mad. Now I can add the olives. Add as many olives as you like. I mean, there's no rule, just a couple of handfuls. I'm going to add a little more lemon though, because I like a bit more tang. I can just reheat that right before we eat it. Now I need to make my aperitif course, Salt Cod Beignets, acra de morue. I'm just reading up on turmeric, and who knew, it comes from the ginger family. Must be a brother. But what I was not surprised to find out, but interested in, is that it's very much used for food coloring because of that bright yellow, and also for the textile industry. Plus it's what makes American hot dog mustard so vibrant yellow. Fascinating. But I'm leaving turmeric behind because now I'm making acra de morue, or salt cod beignet, and that's something more of an island kind of cooking from the Antilles. I got this idea from my friend at the market, Julianne, who has my favorite place to eat in Paris for snacks. She's right in the market and she makes fried plantains and acra de morue, these little beignets of salt cod. She makes flan with coconut. She's an excellent cook. She's cordon bleu cook, but she also has this whole background that's more African. So the mix is really mwah. So I'm just taking the salt cod and getting it out of this water it was soaking in. I just give it a quick rinse. Just cover it with water and bring it to a boil just 5 minutes. So while that's boiling, just get a few other things ready. I want a minced onion. I'm going to throw the onions in here. It all gets mixed together. Some chopped chives. Again, all these ingredients are familiar to the French. What takes it away from being French is the hot pepper. I'm going to start with half a pepper and then slowly build up the courage to do more. To hold this together, you just need 1 egg. Well, actually, to hold it together, you need 1 yolk. And to lighten the mixture, you need 1 white. In other words, you need 1 egg. 1 yolk, 1/4 cup of milk, Once it flakes apart, it's good. It's really just 5 minutes. Then drain it. I'm just going to give it a quick rinse too. It should be cool before you puree it. It's not salty at all. All that soaking gets rid of it. And then just pulse it just until it comes to flaky pieces. So then empty it into the bowl. It also has flour, about half a cup of flour, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder just to give it a little lightness. I'm going to mix everything together to a nice smooth paste. Black pepper. Now this is quite a dry mixture right now. To lighten it, and it's quite heavy. It looks like a fish cake. I can fix that. There. Spoon the egg white into the fish. And mix it through. And then all you have to do is make little balls with spoons and deep fry them, like little ornaments. I have the deep fryer already really hot, about 375. They should be nice and golden, and they should feel really light. Okay, it's nice and crunchy outside and white inside. I love these. Just debating the hot pepper situation. I thought they had enough, but you know, I'm braver than I thought. I'm gonna add the rest. See if my friends can handle it. I want it hot. And you don't have to serve these hot, although generally anything deep fried you want to serve fairly soon, and I like them warm. But they're all right at room temperature too. Look how pretty and festive they are. I love that crispness. Not too strong, but hot, salty, fishy filling that's really tasty. I was going to serve these with drinks and then have my vegetable salad, but I think my friends would love to have these with the vegetable salad and then move on to tagine. And with that tagine, I'm just going to make some quick minty couscous. It's totally untraditional, but it's good. I have friends coming over for a whole menu on African influences that you find in France, African-related dishes from different countries. I'm making couscous now to go with my tagine. That's not typical in North Africa. You would have either a tagine or you'd have couscous, and they're two separate dishes. But I think a little on the side is breaking a rule, but it's all tasty, and I think that's fair. Instant couscous is really quick and easy. You just need a pot of boiling water and a little salt. I don't know, half a teaspoon or so. A drizzle of olive oil. This is about 3 cups of couscous. Turn off the heat. Give it a quick stir. Put on the lid and leave it for 5 minutes and it's ready to fluff with a fork. And I want some mint in this. Just make sure it's nice and light. It's quick couscous, but it's great with the mint. Very fresh, and it will be perfect with the tagine because it will soak up all those lemony juices. So tonight we're having salt cod beignets, deep fried, nice and crisp, served with a Mauritian salad, achar de légumes. Then for main course, tagine, breaking a little rule and serving it with minty couscous. And then for dessert, one of my favorite cakes, orange almond cake soaked in syrup. Now I just need a decent dress.
Oh, will I see you again? Making the time again, seeing the signs again.
I can't believe you haven't commented on my gown, which I wore especially for you. It's from Morocco.
Gorgeous.
Dig right in. Okay.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome so much.
Yeah.